Sorry, didn't see you there. Well, I saw the camera and the lights and the microphone that I set up 10 seconds ago, but I didn't see you there watching this video. How unprofessional of me. Hello and welcome to this look back at 2023 and more importantly, looking forward to 2024. This all feels and is very self-serving. I'm aware of that. But moving forward, literally, but also looking back in multiple senses here. I want to really talk about what's coming this year more than anything. Every year I like to do a video looking back on the things that I've done over the past year and reflecting on it. And last year my video was called Feels Like Starting Over because I felt like I was in a new phase of my channel. And that kind of continued very solidly for a whole year, and I really enjoyed 2023. And for me, a huge accomplishment was getting to cover all of Eureka Entertainment's Blu-ray releases over the calendar year of 2023. So whether it was a review or an unboxing or an in-depth review or whatever it happened to be, I covered every release, and I'm really kind of happy with that and proud of that. And I still have a few more in-depth reviews to come that are kind of backlogged. But otherwise, I got to cover and review every single release that they put out in 2023, which I'm really happy about and felt like an accomplishment. Least of all because they sent me them to review. And that's something I've been cagey about kind of being overly public with. If anything, out of superstition, because it was now 10 years ago, almost, a few months away from 10 years, since I received my first Blu-ray to review from a company, which is Arrow Video, and the film was Pit Stop, which I really enjoy. I don't think I sold the Blu-ray at some point. I'd like to get that back. It's kind of a sentimental thing. That was the first Blu-ray that I got sent to review for my channel 10 years ago now. Crazy. I remember I was in New York in a deli texting the PR manager at Arrow at the time. Anyway, so anyone who knows me through YouTube knows I'm a big fan of Eureka and the Masters of Cinema collection and range in particular, but also the other things that they release as well. And pretty much for 10 years I've been trying to get them to send me stuff to review, and I've kind of made my case that I make a lot of videos about your releases and stuff, and I think that people watch them and it would be beneficial. And they would always tell me, well, we don't really send out stuff for people to review on YouTube, it just is what it is. I was like, okay, fair enough. And then at one point they sent me screeners, which were kind of nice little like blank discs with the Blu-ray on them, or the DVD with the extras and everything, and then a nice little slip with like the artwork and kind of information, kind of little press release. And I did a few of those reviews, but I found that without having like the physical, copy to hold up and talk about, it wasn't as enticing of a video to, people who might want to watch and, decide if that was a release they wanted to buy or not. So that kind of died a death a little bit. And every couple of years, I'd send out another feeler and an email, and I'd either get no response at all. And I thought to myself, maybe they're just thinking, well, this guy's going to buy them all anyway. And which wasn't the case. Most of the stuff that I got from this collection really was like every Christmas and birthday asking for all these releases, get me something from the MOC collection. And my family were like, oh yeah, we know what that is. The amount of like confused looks I would get at Christmas. Like, here you go, Luke. And I'm like, oh, brilliant, thanks. So like, is that what you wanted? I'm like, oh yeah, it's great, brilliant. They're like, right, because I looked at the thing, it just didn't seem like, no, honestly, it's, I remember I watched one, I was like, oh, that was an amazing film, thank you for that. And they're like, cool. The family just doesn't get it whatsoever. Anyway, so I just thought, well, it's one of those things. I kind of had my suspicions that Eureka was sending things to other Blu-ray channels who had bigger followings and stuff, and I thought, well, fair play, it is what it is, I understand. But it was 2022 that I thought, what the hell, let's try it again. And I got a positive response this time. And so the one that I was sent was The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So that was like October 2022. And I was so excited about getting, this nice, finished copy from Eureka to review for my channel, that I put so much work into that video, and I loved the outcome. I used clips from like my trip to Paris when I was a kid, home video stuff, images from the film, clips from the film, all that sort of stuff. I was really happy with the production value of that review. Unfortunately, that meant that I had to do that for every video after that, which is fine, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I kind of set the bar high for myself in terms of how much effort I put into a video normally on a regular basis. But I was really happy with that, and from then on, I was sent the Blu-rays, and I guess I just, I know some people are like, hey, Imprint sent me all of these to check out, or so and so sent me these, and you get these snarky comments, and I just wanted to avoid that. And I would see on the Eureka Facebook that people get really antsy about it. They get really pissed off about YouTubers getting stuff sent to review, and it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that that would be an issue. Um, if you really think about it, on the surface, I get it. Maybe you just see a YouTuber go, "Oh, they're just getting sent stuff for free," and that was a phrase that came up a lot on the Eureka's Facebook page. Was, "Oh, that you bloody YouTubers with their freebies." And I remember Man v Film in particular Graham was getting targeted a lot, and I felt like stepping in and sticking up for him, because well, at the time we were friends. No, we weren't actually. No, okay, so this was after we'd had the falling out, which that happened. So I don't speak to Graham anymore, but even so, I still wanted to kind of stick up for him. But I just thought, God, it's just such a shit show in there, and I think they just deleted all the comments on whatever the post was, and that Eureka would share what Graham had made, and people would say, "Why should we care?" And they even shared my review of the Bullet Train, and someone said, "Well, who's this Luke, and why should we care?" But they're literally just sharing stuff that's promoting their releases. It's pretty basic, standard stuff. But Graham, I'm sure he still is today one of the hardest working guys on YouTube. The amount of the sheer quantity of reviews that he puts out, I think, is more than worth the very small amount of money it probably takes to send a few extra copies to YouTubers. But for me personally, I want to avoid that, and I just had this kind of this goal to do a full calendar year, every single Blu-ray, and I've done it. I've now watched them all, and so I just need to sew up a few more reviews in depth that I'd like to do. But otherwise, I've made videos and talking about all of them. So now I feel like whatever happens, happens. I just felt like if I talked about it, I jinx it, which is stupid, but it is what it is. And the way I see it, in terms of the weird kind of envious comments, I think, about people saying, "Oh, these YouTubers getting freebies." It depends on the YouTuber, I suppose. There's some people like Wet Movie One, who I would see. He would just pick up something and be like, "Yeah, this is a great box set. There's all these great films. This is just such a great release." And it's like, well, do you have anything to say about it specifically? And then I remember like a week later, I saw a live stream he did at like a car boot sale, and he was selling that thing still sealed. So I mean, it's just a revolving kind of door of just grift for some of these people, and maybe some things they enjoy, and then the rest they kind of just sell on or whatever, and just, hey, this is great, this is fantastic. So in that case, I understand the gripe for sure. But for me personally, it takes time to do the reviews, and I was thinking about it because when that whole thing was kicking off on Facebook, and the comment keep coming up that, oh, people are getting their freebies, I thought it isn't free though, really. It's free if I get sent it and then I just don't do anything, in which case they would stop sending them to me, so it's not free anyway. But let's say like a standard release is £20, right? Say like the movie's 2 hours, that's 2 hours of my time. Let's say that I just don't do any research and I don't watch the extras, and I just sit down and film a review for like 30 minutes, setting up the camera, the lights, and all that kind of stuff, importing the footage over and whatever else, and then doing a quick edit, and then uploading, doing the thumbnail, all the tags and everything. Let's say it takes like 5 hours to do all of that from start to finish, including watching the Blu-ray and everything like that. Compared to the £20, that comes to like £4 an hour, which is like less than like double well, less than minimum wage by double. Like it doesn't add up. It really doesn't. Even if at the most basic level, you just do a really kind of a rushed review. For me, I watch the Blu-ray, listen to every commentary, read every essay, watch every extra. I make notes, I rip the Blu-rays, I get clips, all that kind of stuff. So for me, it's a lot of time invested. And if you look at the monetary reward, it's not really that even worth it in that sense. But I do it because I love it. And it's a mutually beneficial scenario. And they do it with other companies. Imprint have sent me stuff as well. So it's not something I, haven't done for a while. But anyway, for me, it was like a big accomplishment for my favorite Blu-ray label in the world to send me this stuff and for me to review the things, and it's like something I love doing, and it was just a great kind of period for me. And so the majority of my channel in 2023 was very Eureka heavy, talking about the announcements, talking about the releases and then reviewing them and then doing other sorts of videos as well. So it was kind of I felt like a shill, even though nothing I said in any of those videos was exaggerated whatsoever. And I almost found myself really searching to find things to complain about or critique because there wasn't many, areas in which I could do that. It just so happened to perfectly line up with me falling in love with Hong Kong cinema and Eureka really leaning heavily into the Hong Kong stuff. So there's just so many great films that I've enjoyed and great Blu-ray releases. And I'll be doing a video at some point at the end of January, I think, kind of doing a kind of an award show where I want to kind of do like, best artwork or best commentary, best box set release, best standalone release, just something a little bit different rather than just like the top 10 Eureka releases of the year or whatever. But I have kind of big plans for the editing of that one, so it's going to take a little bit longer than I wanted to get up at the end of the year, but there just wasn't any time. Anyway, so that's been my year of 2023 is pretty much just Blu-ray reviews of Eureka stuff. And so the marked change for me in 2024 now, if they're going to still send me stuff, great, and I'll continue to cover them in different ways. So I'm now going to be doing Blu-ray impressions, in which I'll talk about my initial impressions of the film and of the extras. I'll still be watching all the extras and giving my thoughts on all of that, but I won't be doing like the exhaustive, like 30, 40, 50-minute, hour-long videos, kind of going into every little detail, unless I feel like it's really worth it. So one case of that would be recently Pandora's Box, which I thought was an absolutely stunning release, and my review was over an hour long. And I went into absolutely everything, and I'm really proud of that video. And so that's a case where it was really worth it for me personally. So I love that release, loved making that video. But, if it's something like, say, Violent Streets from last year, which is a Yakuza film, I didn't love it. It was really good, but it wasn't anything super special. So in that case, I would do a Blu-ray impressions video where it's just me in front of a camera holding up a Blu-ray going, hey, here's the Blu-ray, and here's what I thought of some of the extras and what I thought of the movie. Because I tend to I talk about the film a lot, and so, I then end up using a lot more clips, and so it takes a lot of time, and I really want to kind of divert my time elsewhere in 2024, which I'll talk about in just a second. But every year I tend to kind of go through my phone of all the kind of videos I've made in the calendar year, but it's mainly been just that, Blu-ray reviews, and I have to say I'm proud of all of them. There's some that aren't very good compared to others, I think, but every single video entitled Blu-ray review I stand by as a really good video, in my opinion. You might not like what I have to say, but I think in terms of the presentation, I think they're well done, and it's not just throwing a clip in for me. Like I will spend, maybe like 5 minutes trying to find the right frame to kind of cut away from me, and then also to kind of to have like a nice, like I spend way too much time on the minutia of stuff to the point where I feel like it's something I can be proud of afterwards, which for many years of my channel, there wasn't really that. They were very quick and easy videos I just throw up and I don't think about again. But all the ones I did last year and continue to do so, the Blu-ray review episodes, I'm really happy with those, and I want to keep the quality high for that. But I also want to do different labels. I really wanted to do a review of After Sun, the movie release, but I just didn't have the time to fit it in. So I'd like more time to kind of do different companies, but also to continue the Eureka journey as well. So I think that I've experimented with quite successfully doing these kinds of impression videos in kind of the last 3 or 4 months. So I did like the Royal Tramp collection, where I basically reviewed the whole thing, but I just didn't do a super in-depth thing with all the clips and everything. So I think that it can still work out. It's just different ways of doing things, different approaches. I kind of experimented with a few different approaches, like unboxing style or just me talking in front of the camera. So it's a work in progress. But for me, it'll be Blu-ray impressions, just me kind of talking in front of the camera, Blu-ray review, the in-depth stuff with lots to talk about the film, more in-depth, and all the extras and kind of clips of the extras, all that kind of stuff. So that's everything on the Blu-ray front, I would say. Pretty much covered. And there wasn't that much else in 2023 that I did that was particularly notable on my channel. I was quite happy with my video on the Beatles' Get Back and the new song Now and Then, which got me a lot of vitriol in the comments and a lot of views as well. That was really interesting because there was people saying, you've absolutely lost your mind. They were saying, like, get a life, like, you don't know what you're talking about, you're an idiot, shut up. And then there are other people going, I completely agree with you. Like, that's exactly how I feel about it. And that was something I really enjoyed. I love that there was just this complete split. Normally most of my videos get, fairly high like to dislike ratio. I don't even really look at them, except for when suddenly it's in the middle. I'm like, holy shit, this video got like 30 dislikes. And then it had like 30 likes. And I really love that. People saying like, you don't know what you're talking about. No one believes this. I'm like, well, check the comments. A lot of people agree with me. A lot of people agree with you. It's an interesting debate. That I thought was really mostly healthy. There's a lot of people who got really, a bit too serious about it. But I really was happy with that video as well in terms of clips and things I put into it. And so that was something that I was quite happy with once I'd finished it and released it. I did some more kind of modern, I was going to say modern, but new release reviews of films like Oppenheimer and Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Asteroid City, Typist Artist Pirate King, and I enjoyed kind of changing up a little bit and just talking about new films, and those videos got some good reactions as well, so did a little bit of that. There was the huge 7-part Blu-ray update Odyssey, which was fun to do, but took me many months. The Q&A video, which I still have not delivered, I will finish that in 2024. It's just there's so many questions, and I want to give everything as much time as I possibly can. So someone's asking me about that. It is coming at some point. It's just going to be so long. I don't know how I'm going to do that because I'm running out of SD cards, memory, storage. Which is hugely affected by the fact that in 2023 I started production on 4 feature-length documentaries. So that also took up some of my time, and I should say that's one feature-length documentary and then a trilogy of documentaries about the same subject. So it's not like I'm doing 4 separate. I'm not completely crazy. I'm just moderately to fairly decently, healthily crazy, I would say. So that was great that I finally got those things started, and I talked about the project about my grandfather, Dear Gramp, which some of you helped out with and bought some of my Blu-rays and stuff, and then sent me some donations to kind of go towards the new camera and to kind of get the hard drive that I wanted and stuff, which I've quickly filled up. I've amassed probably about 18 hours, I think, of interview footage at this point in time, which is also with the other projects I'm doing as well. So that's been a great help. And I had a few people asking me about, where's the documentary you're making about your grandfather? I'm still making it. It's takes a lot of time to do a feature-length documentary, and I still don't know how the hell I'm going to put it all together in the edit. And there's still a few more interviews I need to do. I just don't have the time to do them. I'm literally busy every single day. And so it's, I can't afford to take a day off to do it, but I'm going to have to. So it's just, it's the delicate balance of living a normal adult life where you don't have a high paying job and you want to do these fanciful things like making movies. So the other one is a 3-part trilogy of feature-length documentaries about the UK backyard wrestling community as it was from about 2000 to 2010. So it's about a decade of time covered in 3 separate movies and 3 very different parts of that community's lifespan. So me and my friend Ads are making that together, and we've done a few trips, and we're going to do some more this year. But it's time as well. So that trilogy is probably going to take me about 10-15 years, I think, which sounds ridiculous, but that's probably the most realistic thing I can think of, because we have about 35 people we want to talk to, and going away for a trip for a couple of days is also time, also money. So this is one of those things. I sound like I'm whining. I'm not. It's fine. It is what it is. I understand the way of the world. But I'm glad that I've started these things now, because it was always about the starting of them. The backyard wrestling documentary is something we've been talking about for years. The documentary about my grandfather I've been thinking about for years. And so to finally pull the trigger and to have the main interview with my nan complete is really special to me. So 2023... I was, happy with what I did with my channel, but I was really excited about getting to travel around a bit and film some interviews and get a lot of stuff in the can for these really personal projects that I'm really excited about, which are bigger than YouTube for me. So that's that. And that's pretty much how 2023 shook out for me. I also got to go to Star Wars Celebration last year in April at the XL in London, and I got to cover the Lucasfilm showcase panel as a member of the press. In fact, I think I have the 2 seconds. I did keep this very dusty already, reserved seating for press sheet there that was on my chair. And that was a really a wild circumstance. And here's my VIP 4-day pass, which I didn't end up using because I was only there for the one day. Really, again, I couldn't afford to do the whole weekend. I could only go on the one day where the studio panel was. So I got to see the announcement of the new Star Wars films, and all the amount of like big name actors that were like 40 feet away from me was quite crazy. But it was work. I was kind of updating and kind of reporting on the stuff that was being announced and stuff for the website that I was working for at the time, which I'm no longer working with. Which was a real sadness in 2023, was losing that job, which I've been doing bits and pieces with that website for 8 years. So it was kind of I was kind of depressed when that ended. And it was more of me being on the other side of the world, and also just general, the strikes impacting the movie industry and stuff. It was just one of those things that was really. I hope to do more of it in the future. We'll see what happens. But that was a surreal experience. I felt like such an imposter when I walked into this hotel conference room, and this guy with a thick American accent was like, "Oh, you with press?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I want to do a video talking about that whole experience, because there was a lot that happened with that, and I'd like to tell the story one day. So I'm going to do that this year. There's a lot of stuff I want to do, coming up on the channel. But 2023 was a pretty good year, I would say. But it was more stuff that happened outside of YouTube that was exciting. So what can you expect in 2024? Well, the main thing I want to talk about is a celebration, talking about Star Wars Celebration. Now let's celebrate me. No, well, yes. A celebratory kind of year of content on my channel, I hope. So in July of this year, July the 4th, it will be my 25th anniversary of getting one of these, a camera. And that to me is very significant, a quarter of a century of making movies. And so that's kind of, I want to mark that by kind of doing a lot of stuff, which again is another reason why I need to kind of, step back a little bit from doing like the hour-long Blu-ray review kind of extravaganzas and being a bit more succinct and concise. It might end up working in my favor, that I make much better videos where I'm not waffling on too much, but we'll see. So I'm going to call basically the banner of this kind of celebratory year, at least from now until the summer, No Stairway 25. So No Stairway Productions is the name I've used for a very long time for the stuff that I make. And it's the 25th anniversary of that. And so No Stairway 25, I'll put that in the titles and the descriptions of the videos that fall under that kind of branding. And I only say that so that you know what it is, so it's not a movie review or something, because I plan to share some of my old home movies, like the stuff that I made when I was a kid, including my very first film, which to me still blows my mind that 11 years old, I put together a little film with a story and kind of came up with all the lines, and then edited it myself at 11 years old. And it's not an abomination. It's pretty shit, but it's not the worst thing in the world. So I want to do like something commemorating that. I would like to maybe do a live viewing or something like that. There's lots of ideas I could do things like that with. I'm now in the 20th anniversary year of a couple of films I made when I was leaving high school at age 16. So, and then also, I wanted to do the 24-hour movie marathon 10-year anniversary stuff last year. I just didn't have the time. So I definitely will finish that stuff. So it'll all be kind of part of, my own kind of ego stroke. But I like reflecting on the stuff that I've done and seeing where I am now, even in YouTube, and kind of going, God, like shit videos I used to make. Now I'll be like, hey, look at these shit films I used to make. But there will be some things I won't be able to post, I guess, because some people don't like to appear in this archival footage. So I'll have to tread lightly when it comes to. I can't just share a lot of my old stuff willy-nilly. Like I don't even know if I've ever posted the short film I made called John Mountain on this channel. Made it in 2010, just when me and Connie were first seeing each other. It's a little comedy short that I made with her. So I don't know if I've ever posted that. So there's lots of little things I can kind of put up. I'd like to kind of do to just celebrate kind of 25 years of making videos and making movies and stuff. But I also want to, in some way, really ring out that anniversary date with a bang. And so my goal, and I've already got a lot of goals this year, so it's going to be really interesting to see which ones I follow, which ones I don't. My goal is to at least release one 24-hour movie marathon. Now, as of this recording, which is I think the 4th of January 2024, Wrestle Kingdom was today. I just completed 4 days ago 24-hour movie marathon 12 with Connie. And I can't tell you the name of it either because there's a special surprise in it that's a part of the title of that marathon. But so we now have 5 24-hour movie marathons that I haven't posted yet. Now, in an ideal world, I'd love to just post all 5 of them in July as a big, massive celebration, but we'll see. I mean, the 8th one is pretty much done. I just need to do some tweaking, but I really want to release 8 and 9 closely within each other. So there's Marathon 8, the last marathon, which isn't the last marathon. There's Marathon 9, Generations, which is a very special one for me. And there's 10, which is Retro Version. And then there's 11, which is, I can't tell you the title of that one either. And then there's 12, which I also can't tell you the title of. So if I can get those done this year, I would be beyond thrilled. But I have my doubts, you know. But at the same time, I think that the last 3 marathons I've done are going to be much lower maintenance in terms of editing. There aren't big skits in them. There aren't big intros or anything or big storyline stuff. It's more back to basics, but still very long. So I think I might be able to manage it, but we'll see. But I want to commit to at least one, at least 2. 8 and 9 need to come out this year. And I would love to one day get back to just doing one and releasing it within the same year. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself because there's other things I want to do as well. Another thing I should mention is the Epic Film Challenge 2 has returned to my channel. And just so you know, every Monday, at least until summer, coinciding with the anniversary date, there will be an episode of the Epic Film Challenge 2, which are my reviews from the book, 1,001 Movies You Must See Before You Die. So I'm trying to cater to like the different kinds of videos that people like on my channel. So people really want to see the Epic Film Challenge 2 come back. And I really love seeing your comments, kind of being excited about that. So thank you. I really appreciate that. It keeps me going. So that's coming back. The Blu-ray stuff is continuing. And then the other stuff like the marathon stuff I'm going to be working on as well. And another big thing that is going to be nice to finally put a nail in is the Yes trip. The trip of a lifetime. Yes! Yes! Which was kind of the ongoing series of me and Connie in America in 2014, which is now 10 fucking years ago. Can you believe it? So there's a few more episodes of that I still haven't edited or released. So that will be finished this year too. And I can finally go, it's done. So that's pretty much it. A lot of plans. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There probably is. I don't know. But, you know, it'd be fun to reflect again at the end of this year and see how well that I did. And then there's another series, the Masters of Cinema Ultimatum, which I'm filming a separate video about to tell you all about that. But that's me just trying to watch all the films in my MOC collection and the drastic ultimatum I've made with myself to get that done. So that's pretty much caught you up to speed. I've reflected on 2023. I've looked forward to 2024. But in typical Luke fashion, there are a few more things I want to discuss before we round off this video, so bear with me. I appreciate you sticking with it, but there's just one glaring omission from 2023 that was such a blast for me that I have to talk about and kind of mention in my reflection on last year. And a couple of other videos that I didn't mention. One very small one is I finally did my top 20 films of 2021, a couple of years late. And as far as 2022 and 2023 are concerned, I still don't think I've seen enough films to really warrant doing a top 20, which is sad because I love doing that every year and I love watching new movies. I'm really passionate about that as much as I'm passionate about watching old movies, but I just haven't had the time or, the right films haven't excited me enough to see a lot of them. So that'll be down the line at some point. I plan to stick to keeping that trend going. It's just I'm quite a fair bit behind everyone else. It just is what it is. And another video I made that I don't know if it's a great video, but I think it's one where I'm fairly open about stuff, and that was quite a divisive one. I got quite a lot of dislikes on that video because I talk about some of the more touchy subjects in the world today and my strong feelings on them. But that's the video is called, I think, 10 Films That Remade Me. And I really had to think about that topic, and it was over an hour long, and I really discussed 10 films that really mean a lot to me and how they change my perspective on something, or how they've kind of shaped the way that I think or the way I live my life. So I was really happy with the time that I put into thinking about my choices on that video. And so that was that. Now, the main thing I have to talk about is a new series that I started in 2023. And unlike a lot of stuff that I start, I really did very well with it. And it's about half done, I would say. And that project is the Douglas Fir Association. This is a multimedia project, which I jokingly call it, because there is in fact a tie-in novella to this project, which is if you can find it, then you can read it, but or you can read some of it, I should say. It's one of those. It's a bit of a mystery. You can find it if you search hard enough, but I don't think anyone really cares, and that's kind of almost the appeal to me of this series, is that no one really cares. Like it's it's something that I do with a friend that I just absolutely love. It's a series of discussion videos on the works of David Lynch, and really more specifically the world of Twin Peaks. So me and Matt from Maticus Tatui, we hooked up together and watched through the entire original run of Twin Peaks, which he'd never really finished watching, and then we started watching David Lynch's movies and doing discussion videos on those. So we have about 6 or 7 of Lynch's films left to watch and then discuss in video form, and then we're going to dive in at the very end with Twin Peaks: The Return. So I'm super excited for that, looking forward to 2024 to watch The Return again and to kind of dive into his movies again and revisit some of those. Inland Empire is the last one left for me to watch, and it's just been honestly phenomenal to revisit Twin Peaks. That's been really great, but also to do that with Matt and to kind of get his first reactions and to experience this stuff together. And I do think that the night that we both watched The Elephant Man was one of the more profound film watching experiences I've had in my entire life, and we talk about that in the discussion video. They don't get many views, and it's understandable, I guess, but I'm really just proud of the fact that we actually did most of it, in terms of actually talking about Twin Peaks and not really giving up on it, or kind of, because it's, we did a lot of discussion videos, we had a lot to say, a lot to talk about. They're not the best discussion videos in the world. It's just our thoughts and our reactions and feelings. But I loved kind of collaborating with Matt on a larger series, something we've never really done before. We've collaborated many times in the past, but it was awesome, and I look forward to continuing that and finishing that this year. And just in general, reconnecting with Matt as a friend has been really special to me in 2023. So that's another cool thing to look back at and cherish. And so, yeah, on with the end of this video. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to. I'm really excited about some of the stuff that I'm going to hope to do. But it's just one of those things where, in a way, I'd love to just have nothing on my plate. Nothing I want to write, nothing I want to film, nothing I want to edit, nothing I want to make. Just, okay, you got some free time. Just chill out and relax. But there's always something. The gears are always spinning. And in a way, I kind of thrive on that, I think. And so I don't know what I'd do without it, But I am certain, whenever it happens, that when I reach my dying day, it will be with about 400 films I want to get to and watch, and about 300 different projects I want to get started, and about 400 projects I want to finish. It's just never ending. It really is. But thank you if you're watching this far for staying with me and trying to keep up with my madness. And hopefully there's something in this video that I've talked about that is interesting for you moving forward. Otherwise, keep tabs on my channel for something else that might happen. I don't know. But I appreciate the support. Reached 10,000 subscribers last year, which I don't normally look at or really take much stock in, but it was a nice round number to reach, and I appreciated that. And that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching. I'm saying this in a few different videos, but Happy New Year. Hope everyone has a great 2024. And yeah, it is a good kind of a nice reset to kind of think, okay, we've got another year, a fresh start. It's kind of an illusion, right? Time is a construct in a way, but it works for me, and so we'll see how long the enthusiasm lasts. But apart from that, I'm checking that my microphone is still on. I will not love you and leave you, because I don't love you. I don't know who you are. You're strangers to me for the most part, but I like you, and I appreciate the fact that you watch my videos, and leave me comments. I love comments. I like replying to comments, and hopefully we'll have a fun 2024 with some cool videos. That's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, of which there shall be, I hope, many.